Wigs on weeds out, let the garden grow. It's planting with Pluto, welcome to the show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Planting with Pluto. Today I have a very special video for you. I'm going to teach you how to make a moss pole with me and my friend Milo here. He wanted to be a part of the video. We just started. Now, I will be leaving in the description below a kit that you can buy off Amazon, and it comes with everything that you need. It comes with the chicken wire, the plastic, the zip ties, the clippers, the Velcro. It has everything you need. It also comes with gloves if you want to use gloves. So today in this video we're going to make the moss pole, and I'm also going to be repotting this philodendron where we're going to be attaching it to the moss pole. So with philodendrons, they do love and prefer to climb. Now, they can be grown in a pot just like this without anything to climb up. They just won't mature and get as big and voluptuous as you want them. Now, they benefit from climbing up a moss pole. As they climb, you can see they kind of shoot the roots right in there, and they shoot it right into the moss. So you'll have a whole bunch of roots inside the moss and inside the moss pole, and it will grow big, the leaves will be big, it'll keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and then eventually we'll chop it in half and we'll have two plants. It'll be sickening, trust me. So let's get started on making this moss pole. I'm going to set our plant aside because we're going to need some room. Now, it comes with a plastic back. This is the back of the moss pole. You can cut this down to any size you want. This is the size it comes with. Now, this type of philodendron, they actually grow quite fast. I have another one in my drag room, and it's growing up that moss pole so quick. So you might think, that's a lot of moss pole, Pluto. Well, that's the point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chicken wire. The chicken wire comes the same thickness as the plastic, and you're going to cut that down. If you get the same kit that I'm linking, you're going to cut that down to about 7 blocks. And then you're going to lay it down, and we are going to zip tie one side together with each hole on the side. So I'm going to do that, and I will come right back, okay? I'll do a couple with you now, just so you see and get the feel of it. You know. Hello? Why aren't these open? I did not plan that out. Stop. Alright. I didn't plan that out at all. I literally was sitting here like, I'm gonna cut it and like redo that part. But don't give me on it. Okay. If you want a long video of me in drag struggling, you got it. So now that you have all of your zip ties out in front of you, you have to do it just like that. Now that you have all your zip ties out in front of you, we're gonna put it together, okay? Oh, so I'm gonna start here. I'm just gonna put the zip tie through the hole, and we'll see how long these nails make it on my fingers, honey. Planting with nails is sickening. And then you're going to zip tie that tight. And you're just going to go down and do each one. Like I said, I'll be back, making a mess, going crazy. Be right back. Alrighty, we have one side of the moss pole all zip tied and cut. Now we are going to put some moss in there. Now, I will, like I said, link the moss that I used down in the description below. It comes in a very like vacuum sealed, tight, dry moss, and you put it in a bucket and you add some water and it expands, and you get so much moss out of the block that I will link below. Lots of moss. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the moss that is damp, wet, and we're going to basically like pack it in like a burrito. Think like Chipotle 2015, where they were like actually putting stuff in the burrito and not just like tiny amounts. We're gonna pack her in. Now, I'm going to go all the way down let's say that this is the bottom on this side. I don't know if you can see or not, but over here is the bottom. Hopefully you can see. And then up here will be the top. So I'm going to leave a little bit of where there's no moss, because that part's going to be in the actual pot where the aeroid mix will be. So we'll actually be putting aeroid mix right here. So the rest of the moss will go all the way up. Just like that. Now, put a little bit more right here. Maybe a little bit more down here. Oh, I'm almost out of moss. Gonna have to order some more. I've been making so many moss poles lately. So when we fold it, it's gonna kind of, oh no, my little stuffy. It should look just like that. And we're going to take one of our zip ties, which I have down here because they exploded on me. And we're going to basically add the zip ties on the other side. This side is going to be a little bit harder just because you're trying to balance the force of the plastic. Okay. Nice and tight. And you can kind of see if you what you kind of want to gauge, like if when it is closed, if there is enough moss in there before you, so like right here I should put a little bit more. And then let me grab our pot just for size, just to see how far up we're gonna go. And we're gonna go down just a little bit more. I'm gonna put them all down the side now. This is my first time planting with nails. And they're just press-ons, girl. These could pop off at any minute. So, I'm going to now, like I said, you want to make it nice and tight. So I'm going to continue with zip ties on the other side, pack in that moss pole burrito, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, we are back, and look at that. You almost have a moss pole. It's going to go in your pot just like that. Oh, this thing is big. But I have to be careful because there's a ceiling fan above me, and I do not need it to hit that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my plastic pot. You can really pot them in anything. Plastic just works best. So you're going to have a plastic pot, and then you put that plastic pot in a decorative pot. That is really the goal here. So I'm going to score the side of this, and you're probably thinking like, Pluto, why are you doing that? Well, let me tell you. I like to put 2 holes in the side of the pot and then feed. This would have been so much easier had I had a box knife or something. So I'm just going to put 2 little holes on the side of the pot, and I'm going to take our Velcro that comes in the kit, and I'm going to feed it through the first hole, and I'm going to feed it through the second hole. Maybe, hello? This is where my nails pop off. My nail keeps popping through, and they're green tips, and I think it's... Okay, so I now have the Velcro sitting there, and basically the moss pole is going to go in here. I'm going to tighten it, and then the moss pole will be connected to the pot, theoretically. So I'm going to add a little bit of my aeroid mix down at the bottom. You can buy aeroid mix, light, chunky aeroid mix at nurseries. I make my own, which, of course, I'll make a video on how to make aeroid mix. So I'm just going to fill that. Doesn't need to be perfect because we'll be putting, and then I'm just going to add that right in there, making sure it's going to be nice and tight now. We're going to trim the excess there. And we want it all the way at the bottom of the pot, touching the bottom of the pot. And just like that, the moss pole is connected to the pot, just like that. So now we can fill the rest of the pot, well, not the rest. We can start putting the aeroid mix inside. Make sure you get the back side. We want it nice and snug in there. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm not sure what the root system looks like. Is it going to be able to stand upright? It does. So let me grab our plant. I'm not sure what our root system is going to look like. This is it's normal potting soil. You can use normal potting soil. Aeroid mix just is benefit. You could literally use so much. There's so much that you can plant, especially philodendrons. And so I'm going to take this out of the pot, examine, try to get as much dirt off the roots as I can, and I'll be right back with you, and I'll show you the root system. Alrighty, as you can see, I tried to get as much of the dirt off of there as I could. This is doing very well. You can see that these little shoots that are coming off, those are going to be roots. So that's what's really going to be going up into the moss pole and making more roots. And theoretically, you could cut this right here, and it'll, when it's growing, that's the whole goal, is that we're going to cut it off once it's big, and we're going to have 2 plants, and that's going to be sickening. So the roots were all in that pot. That pot was not that big, but the roots, most of the roots were high and together. So I'm going to plant this in here. I think I want it this way. I don't know. The roots are going that way, so maybe I should just stick with what the root sides are. I'm going to teach you another way, not another way because I haven't taught you anything about this yet, but when you first put a plant on a moss pole, it's going to guide itself up as it grows. You're not really going to need to do much, but you can put one of these around just so it can stay to the moss pole at first. But if you take a paper clip and you just kind of cut it in this one side right here, that will give you elongated U. I don't know if you can see that. And then basically I'm gonna push that right into the moss like that. And then I'm gonna take our chunky aeroid mix. I'm just gonna fill the rest of this in. And this can be a little messy, so you might want to do this outside on a nice day. You might have a wonderful husband who will clean it up after you're done. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm just going to fill this in there is our philodendron on a moss pole. Now, like I said, these grow relatively quick. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, 4 to 6 months. She's pretty high up here. That's my goal. Sorry, excuse me. Now, there are different types of moss poles you can create with that kit. Let me show you another one. Alrighty friends, here is another version of a moss pole. So with that kit that is in the link below, you can get the plastic back. It comes in, I buy the one that's in a set of 3. So this is the full length of one of them. And like I said, you can cut these down. They're easy to cut, this plastic. Cut it down to whatever length you want. It also comes with that chicken wire. So you just use that chicken wire to make your own moss pole with that. And the chicken wire is metal. And so you just kind of mold it first and then fill it with that moss. Zip tie the back just every few. And then like I said, just secure it into that pot as well. That's going to help you in the long run because I can just kind of pick it up with the moss pole now. So this is... Actually, this plant is a Monstera deliciosa, a Thai constellation. These were so highly sought after like a few years back. They are a more expensive plant. They have come down in price. They were crazy. I would never have one. But now I got this one for $20, a baby juvenile. But they were selling bigger ones at the nursery and they were $150 for like literally like it wasn't even that big. It was crazy. $150. I would never. But I'll buy a $20 juvenile and hopefully it grows that big. Hey everyone, so I'm here at the Tony's Garden here in Portland, Oregon. And I remember when I was telling you about the Monstera, that little tiny Monstera Thai constellation that I bought for $20. Well, here's a more, it's still a juvenile, but they want $60 for this one. It's crazy. Like their still prices are outrageous for these plants, but they're gorgeous. And if you follow me, here's a bigger one back here. They want almost $200 for. I'm surprised that's not washed up like these ones. These ones are insane. But more on that later. Bye. They are a climber slash crawler, so I think they like to crawl a little bit more. But I'm actually putting it on a moss pole. I'm hoping to get it to climb rather than crawl. But yeah, this is my Thai constellation. I love it. I will actually put a picture of like what it will look like because it's so beautiful. I recommend buying one in hopes and good luck with it. So far I haven't had any problems, but good luck. So, oh my gosh, there we have it. We have successfully made a moss pole. That is crazy. One other thing before I end this video, you always want to make sure that your moss pole is damp. Don't ever let it dry out. You can slowly just pour some water at the top. You can get a water bottle with the cap on, put a few holes in the water bottle. Just let it soak in there. Same with these. You just put that water on the top, let it soak down. The aeroid mix that I use doesn't really retain a lot of water, so the water will just continue to go out. So I'm not too worried about root rot. So yeah, so it's easily great drainage. And so yeah, you just don't want to make them dry. So just squeeze them every few days to make sure that they're still damp. And you can feel like, oh yeah, this one's a little dry. I'll probably have to water it tomorrow, the next day. So, but there we have it. You have hopefully made a moss pole. I hope that you followed along. I hope that you enjoyed yourself on this first episode of Planting with Pluto. I have some great videos coming ahead. We're going to be doing a lot of indoor gardening here, and I'm going to be going to the nursery in full drag. We're going to be walking around a nursery. Hopefully it goes smooth and no one gives me like a hard time for like being in drag in a nursery. I feel like everyone's going to be like living for their life there, and I'm just like, guys, hey girl, but you never know, anything could happen. But yeah, so we're going to be going to the nursery in full drag. That's crazy. Because I want to show you the deals, the tricks of the trade, okay? And we're going to be doing more moss poles with certain plants. I'll be telling you about plants. I also have some cuttings that I have had in water that we're going to be transferring over into dirt. Listen, we're going to be doing a lot here. So I hope that you are up for the journey with me. If you love planting as much as I do and love drag, then this is the spot for you. I am mixing two of my favorite things right now in life, drag and planting, and I hope that you're enjoying that. And if you could, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the like button, share with your friends, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, happy planting and good luck to you. Bye.